हाय स्मार्ट गर्ल। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो बेसिकली टुडे वी हैव अ न्यू टॉपिक, नमस्ते अश्विन जी, which is wave optics. Okay, and this is the session one for it. Now this is a comparatively easy topic if you understand one thing which we will cover in this lecture only. Okay, so let us see what we are going to study today. This is the roadmap in front of you. First there will be a quick introduction of what is waves and how do we study waves. Okay, then we will study about the principles. Okay, so before I start the topic, कुछ चीजें we should already know from geometrical optics or ray optics. Let us take a quick summary or a quick revision, I should say, what you should know about waves. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is a wave? I'm turning on the chat box. Just tell me what is a wave. We know there are string waves, there are sound waves, there are electromagnetic waves, radio waves, microwaves. So, what is basically a wave? Very good, Mohit. Very good. That is absolutely correct. Disturbance or any of these things, okay, are called wave. Basically, energy in transit or energy that flows, or simply, if I want to say in short terms, energy in transit is called a wave, or you can call it a disturbance also. Okay. Now we have studied about string waves, sound waves, and all those waves. Okay. In this chapter, we are going to talk about light. Now we have seen this in ray optics that what is the nature of light? Light has dual nature. It can behave like a particle also, and it can behave like a wave also. So in this chapter, we are going to study about the wave nature of light. Okay. Particle nature is studied in photoelectric effect, next chapter, which is modern physics. Okay. So what will I say? Light is a electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave. Am I correct? It is an electromagnetic wave and it is also called a non-mechanical wave. What is the meaning of non-mechanical? What is the meaning of non-mechanical wave? It simply means that it does not require medium, does not require medium to travel. Okay. Like we know, light from sun can reach earth, and in between sun and earth there is no medium. So light can travel in vacuum also, it can travel in other mediums also. Transit, it means moving. Okay. This was already done, Manisha, in ray optics. Okay. So we say it is a non-mechanical wave. Now, why do I call it an electromagnetic wave? Why it is called an electromagnetic wave? Because it is a combination of electric field and magnetic field. If in any region electric field is oscillating in a particular direction and magnetic field is oscillating perpendicular to it, then light is propagating in a direction which is perpendicular to the electric field and magnetic field. We already know this. है कि नहीं? So basically energy propagates, energy flows due to oscillations, due to oscillation of electric field and magnetic field. Ayush, this is your first class, that is good. Please try to focus on some points that we are talking about before starting the lecture. Okay. Chaliye. So one thing you should know about a wave is that what is the general equation of a wave? General equation of a wave. Now, I hope you have studied string waves and sound waves. That was a class 11th topic. पढ़ा है सभी ने? Everyone studied? then you should know what is the equation. अगर नहीं पढ़ा तो बेटा there is no alternative. वापस जाइए class 11th and study it. Okay. If you have not studied, go back to class 11th and study it. Because we cannot teach the class 11th in class 12th ना. ये तो आपको पता होना चाहिए. Okay. So suppose a wave is traveling like this. Yes, this is the first class, Ayush. Okay, if you do not remember, I'm going to revise it. That is a different thing. I'm going to revise it, but थोड़ा बहुत idea होना पड़ेगा. So suppose this is a wave which is traveling like this. Okay, a wave is traveling like this, and if I say v is the velocity of wave, v is the velocity of wave, then you know that if this is at t is equal to 0, this is t by 2 and this is t. Basically, this distance is called lambda. And what is lambda? Lambda is called the wavelength. Wavelength. Everyone knows this at least. This is called lambda. इतना तो पता होगा. अरे this much तो you should know at least. And what is the relation between velocity and lambda? We defined velocity of a wave is simply given as f lambda. Velocity of a wave is simply given as f lambda, where f is called the frequency of wave. F is called the frequency of wave and unit is hertz. अरे पता है कि नहीं? V is equal to f lambda. Now frequency is simply a property of source. It is the property of source and it does not change on changing medium and does not change on changing medium. याद है we studied this in ray optics. Change on changing medium. Okay, so these are few points that we must remember, that are necessary to remember. Very good, Mohit. What else should we know before starting this chapter? Next thing you should know about the equation. How is the equation of a wave given? So equation of the wave is generally given as y is equal to a sine omega t minus kx. I hope you have seen this in your life. If you have not, you will still understand. This is the equation of a wave, where this a is called the amplitude of wave. A is called the amplitude of wave. Whatever is written inside sine, this whole thing is called the phase of wave. Is called the phase of wave. अरे याद आ रहा है? This k, who can tell me what is this k? Who can tell me what is k? Very good, Arshul. K is called the wave number. K is called the wave number. And what is omega? Omega is called the angular frequency. Angular frequency. There is a straightforward relation between them. Omega, or I can say k, is simply equal to 2 pi by lambda, or you can say it is 2 pi f by v, or you can say omega by v, where v is the velocity of your wave. This is the topic of class 11th till now that you have to remember. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. If you don't know it, please note it down. If you know it, that is very, very good. That will help you a lot. Basically, I have only told you the terminology that we will be using. Okay. I have just told you the terminology that we will be using. Light exerts a magnetic force. I cannot say light exerts a magnetic force because although there is a magnetic field, but it is changing continuously. Okay. चलिए, someone wants to see the previous slide. Have a look at it. देखिए ध्यान से. Okay, please note down these things before I start the chapter. So let us start the chapter now. Chapter की शुरुआत करते हैं. Okay, with the heading wave optics. With the heading wave optics. Now, what is the meaning of wave optics? Basically, this is the study of interference of two light waves at a point. At a point. Now, you might be thinking, what is this interference? Okay. So basically, interference is a phenomena that we will study in this whole chapter. So you will understand what is interference once we move ahead. But simply to write what is wave optics is simply the study of interference of two light waves. If two waves are coming at a point, they meet at a point, then what happens at that point, it is called the interference. यार प्लीज पढ़ाते के बीच में प्रीवियस स्लाइड नेक्स्ट स्लाइड ये सब मत करो. Have you copied it? Okay. Yes, we can say absolutely, Ria. But I will come to that point again. Okay. So what do we have to study in order to understand waves? First thing, we need to understand the term called wavefront. Wavefront. Now, what is a wavefront? The locus. This is a mathematical term we use in maths. The locus, which means the path of all the particles in same phase is called a wavefront. Okay. So before I come to light and before we come to wave optics, let me ask you a very simple question. You all have done this one thing. Suppose there is water stored somewhere. Okay, there is a pond, there is a lake in which there is still water. Okay, very good, Ria. Already know where I'm going. If you take a stone and you drop it, what happens? Suppose I take a stone and I drop it in the still water. What happens if I have dropped the stone here? Ripples are created. Are hai ki nahi? These ripples that are created are continuously moving away from the point where you dropped the stone. So a disturbance is created throughout the surface of the water. Am I correct? We have all seen this. So if I ask you that this point, which is at a particular distance from the source, when did it start moving? So we can understand that all these points are at equal distance from the source. So they are in same phase. Similarly, all these points are at equal distance from the source. So they are in same phase. Basically, if a point started together and they are now moving at equal distance from the source, they are called a wavefront. This is called a wavefront. Are you getting my point? Yes, absolutely. Center of concentric circles is the source. So the stone that you dropped is called the source, and the ripples that are created are called the wavefront. Are you getting my point? So I just took the example of you dropping a stone in water because we have all done that. हम सभी ने किया. ओके, चलिए. So next thing that is very very important to understand about light is the type of source. Okay, so depending on the type of source of light, we define the wavefronts. First of all, let me say I have a point source. What is the meaning of point source? It means you have a very very small source of light. Can you tell me in which direction is this source projecting the light? In which direction is this point source projecting the light? In all directions. Am I correct? Consider a very very small bulb. You light it up. It will throw the light in all possible directions. Am I correct? So if a photon started from this source and it reaches this distance, what will be the shape of wavefront formed by this point source? Can you tell me? What will be the shape of wavefronts that this point source will generate? अरे बताइए. What will be the shape of wavefronts that this point source will generate? Very good. So basically, in this case, the type of wavefront that I get are spherical wavefronts. Spherical wavefronts, not circle. Beta, it is 3D, na? It is 3D. It is three-dimensional. So light is spreading in all directions, not two-dimensional. It is three-dimensional. That is why the type of wavefront that we see is spherical. Are, am I correct? Am I correct? So the type of wavefront that is created by a point source is called a spherical wavefront. So in which direction is light propagating? In which direction is light propagating? Light rays will be going like this. Am I correct? Light rays will be going like this. So what you can say looking at this is simply that the direction of propagation, the direction of propagation the direction of propagation of light is perpendicular to the wavefront. Always remember this. Always remember this. If you have studied electrostatics chapter, this is like equipotential surface. I am just giving you a relation just to remember. Okay, there is no relation between them exactly, but this is similar to equipotential surface in electrostatics. Okay. So here what do I say? The direction of propagation of light is perpendicular to the wavefront. Always perpendicular. Always perpendicular. Please note it down. So what actually happened? Huygens gave a theory. Okay. So we'll study about that. Huygens theory for propagation of light. For propagation of light. So as we have just studied that every point source generates spherical wavefronts. Are you getting my point? All point sources generate spherical wavefronts. So basically, let me say if this point source has generated this wavefront. Now, what was the theory? Let us study about that. The first point of theory says that every point on a wavefront, every point on a wavefront behaves like a secondary source, called secondary wavelets. Secondary wavelet. So basically he said that suppose this is your source, okay, this is your main source, and it generated a wavefront at some distance. So on this wavefront, every point that is will again behave like a source and it will generate its own wavefronts. Are you getting my point? Similarly, the next point will also generate its own wavefronts. Similarly, the next point will also generate its next wavefront. So all these secondary points are called secondary wavelets. This is a name given to them, secondary wavelets. And on joining the, yes, infinite wavefront service, infinite point sources are there. So infinite wavefronts will be generated. And on joining the wavefronts of the secondary wavelets, you get the next wavefront. Basically, on joining the wavefronts, of secondary wavelets, tangentially, secondary wavelets, we get the next wavefront. Manisha, obviously you cannot practically see it for light, okay, because they are very, very small type of point sources, and that is why it is called a theory and not a practical, okay. But we can imagine like this. What will happen again? Again, for this next wavefront, first listen to me and then ask, okay. First listen, then ask your doubts. On this new wavefront, again point sources will behave like secondary wavelets and they will generate their own wavefront. So on adding the surface of all these wavefronts, you get the next wavefront. So basically, Huygens theory simply states that if I want to summarize it in a single line, listen to me very, very, very carefully. Whenever a point source creates a wavefront, each and every point on that wavefront again behaves like a source and it is called a secondary wavelet. On joining the wavefront of these secondary wavelets, you get the next wavefront. And then again, and then again, and the whole process is repeated, and basically you get the wavefronts for a single point source. Are you getting my point? So this is Huygens theory of wavefront generation, and this tells you that on joining the wavefronts, you can find out the direction of propagation of light. अरे समझ आया? Now ask your doubts. Yes, Yuvraj, you have infinite small wavefronts. Ask your doubts. Manisha, how will these wavelets be visible? Like light is coming for me also, na? Right now there is light. Can you see the wavelets? Obviously, we cannot see the wavelets. Chaliye. So what are the points that we remember? What are the points? Beta, because that is visible because that is happening on water. This is for light. Okay. Shivam Kumar, stop writing your name. Chaitra, that is a different case. You are asking maximum and minimum. We don't talk about maximum and minimum. Okay. विजेंद्र कुछ पढ़ाया है नहीं, क्विज पहले हो जाए, अलग ही दुनिया में हो सर. ओके चलिए. So just remember these things. Basically, locus of all the points which oscillate in same phase is called a wavefront. Are you getting my point? Locus of all the points which oscillate in same phase is called a wavefront. Okay. This is all you had to remember. चलिए, let us start our leaderboard. Leaderboard की शुरुआत कर देते हैं. Let us see who is at the top. The first question is in front of you. What is a wavefront? I think the easiest question that a human being can ask has been asked here. Chalo, start marking your answer. 63% only. Oh my God. One thing that I have said was written in the first statement only. Locus of all the points which are in same phase of vibration are called basically a wavefront. Any doubts in this? अरे any doubts in this? अरे बोलिए, इसमें क्या ही डाउट होगा? चलिए, so this is all time pass, you also know. Let us focus on some important things on which good questions can be asked. Okay, on which good questions can be asked. So few terms that I will tell you, you might have already heard those. Okay, but we will study them. So the first term that we are going to say is called the power. What is the meaning of power? Like you might have heard, there is a 100-watt bulb, 50-watt bulb, 25-watt bulb. So that is the power written. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of power? The meaning of power is basically energy radiated, energy radiated per unit time. Per unit time. Okay. Let me give you a simple example. Let me give you a very simple example. Suppose I have a 100-watt bulb. Suppose you have a 100-watt bulb. It simply means that it radiates 100 joule of energy per second. It means in 1 second, it radiates 100 joule of energy. Are you understanding this? So what is the formula for power that we have to remember? Power will simply be given by energy per unit time. Now this is not a new thing. We all should know this already. And the unit for it is joule per second, or we call it watt or W. अरे है कि नहीं? अरे बोलिए, joule per second or watt. So any doubts in this? No doubts? Chaliye. Okay, Manisha wanted me to explain all the three options. Locus of adjust point, which electric field is same. So nothing about electric field, Manisha, actually. Series of points with same amplitude. It is not necessary that the amplitude should be same. Series of points, same frequency. No, actually phase should be same. Whatever is written inside sign, that should be same. Okay. Chaliye. So the next thing that we have to focus on is called the intensity. So you know what is power? It is energy per unit time. Now what is intensity? You might have heard the term intensity. What is intensity? Intensity is energy per unit area, energy per unit area per unit time. Per unit time. Listen to me carefully. This is kind of a new thing. Hello, Sherdil. It's all right, chalo. So basically, suppose you have a surface. And if light is falling on this surface, this is a surface and light is falling on this surface, can I say that energy is falling on this surface? Are bolo haan ke na? Because light is energy. So if I say that light is falling on this surface, I can say energy is falling on this surface. So how much energy is falling per unit area in 1 second? That is called intensity. Are you getting my point? What is intensity? Intensity is basically energy falling per unit time per unit area. What is energy per unit time? अरे अभी हमने देखा था. What is energy per unit time? अरे very good. So intensity, I can simply say, is power by area. अरे बोलिए, डाउट बेटा थोड़ा रुक के पूछ लेते तो भगवान आपका भला करता. When light fall in our eye, do our eye absorb energy? Absorb, you mean to say? Yes, sir. Yes. Energy is absorbed, obviously. Okay. Yes. Your answer is yes. So intensity का formula, please copy it everyone. Power per unit area, and what will be the unit for it? It will be watt per meter square. Array, please copy it. Array, note it down. Array, note it down everyone. So what is power? Energy upon area, energy upon time. And what is intensity? Power upon area. Okay. अरे समझ आया? अरे चमका? So now we talk about the important things. Okay. Which is the calculation of intensity. Calculation. This is important. This is the most important bit of this chapter. Calculation of, not the most important, second most important. So calculation of intensity at a point due to, first I am taking, actually it depends on type of source. So first I am taking a point source. Most familiar one, we have studied about it just now. Point source. So suppose you have a point source, okay, a very small bulb, and power of that source is P. And it is radiating energy in all directions. So I want to calculate that at a distance r from it, what will be the intensity at this point? Are you getting my point? It means that how much energy will be falling per unit area, per unit time on this point. That is the meaning of intensity, na? So what can I write the intensity? Slides are overlapping. Is it okay now, Manisha? Is it okay now? Okay. So basically I'm just asking that if this point that I have drawn with blue color, I want to calculate how much energy is falling per unit area, per unit time on it. It simply means I am, yes beta, please let me complete and then ask your doubts. You are not answering my question. I want to calculate the intensity at this point. Okay. How much energy will be falling at this point? So as you know, no, I want you to answer. Total power is P. So this much energy is radiated in 1 second. On how much area is this energy falling? Can you tell me? Sherdil already knows my question and has given the answer also. Very good. So what I'm asking you, Shaina, this is a sphere. Shaina, this is a sphere, not a circle. This is a sphere. So on how much surface is the energy falling? ये light अगर निकलेगी तो कितने surface पे गिरेगी? On how much surface will this light fall? So surface of the sphere, what is the surface area of the sphere? It is 4 pi r square. So this is the formula that you use for the intensity of a point source. Please copy it everyone. And what you have to remember, intensity is inversely proportional to r square. Please copy it everyone. Intensity is inversely proportional to r square, where r is the distance of point from source. Distance of point from source. छापिए फटाफट and now ask your doubts. Now ask your doubts. Gautam ji is asking why power. Gautam ji, open your eyes. This world is very beautiful. Look at it. ये देखो बेटा formula. Look at this, Gautam ji. Gautam ji, look at the slide. Look at your screen, चमकती हुई screen. Look at it here. Intensity is power by area, sir. And basically, बेटा शेरदिल लेट के पढ़ो ना, बेड पे लेट जाओ मस्त. तुमको पेन की कहां जरूरत पड़ेगी? ओके. रेस्ट. You are not doing the job. I am doing the job. This is the benefit of online. You can stand on your head and then also study. Whatever you want to do, you can study. लेट के, बैठ के, नाचते हुए, खाते हुए, सोते हुए आप पढ़ सकते हैं. अरे क्या पता चल रहा है किसी को शेरदिल, देखो उससे मुझे थोड़ी एनर्जी मिलेगी. इफ यू आर सिटिंग, मेरा क्या फायदा हो रहा है उससे? इफ यू आर टायर्ड, लेट जाओ थोड़ा सा. कैमरा किसी का ऑन नहीं है, कोई थोड़ी देख पा रहा है. मैं तो नहीं देख पा रहा तुमको. इफ आई कैन नॉट सी यू, whoever else is seeing you, what does it matter? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? हमारा घर, हमारा फोन, हमारा इंटरनेट, हम लेटे हुए हैं. सो what is the difference? What difference does it make? है कि नहीं? चलिए. So basically intensity is inversely proportional to distance का square. Please copy it everyone. अरे छापिए फटाफट. I am coming to that, Sarvesh ji. Give me a little bit of time. I can take only one type of source in one slide. Okay. So this was a point source, which is very, very standard. Okay. Next type of source that we study is called a line source. Now, what is the meaning of line source? You can imagine it like this. If point source is your bulb, line source is your tube light. Okay. Point source is your bulb, then line source is your tube light. So suppose this is my source. So can I say that this line source is made up of many point sources? Or can I say that this line source is made up of many point sources? So for this we define P is the power per unit length. Power per unit length. Okay. If length of this point line source, if I say it is L, then can you tell me the total power? Total power of source? अरे unitary method. क्या बात है? If P is the power per unit length and L is the total length, then total power is PL. मचा दिया. So what kind of wavefront will it create? What kind of wavefront will it create? So this will create cylindrical wavefronts, not spherical wavefronts, because distance of all the points on the wavefront should be same from the source. So if you take the same distance, it will form a cylinder. Okay, so if this is your cylinder, then your source is in between. Are you getting my point? So this is called a cylindrical wavefront. Always remember, cylindrical wavefront. Okay. So your point source creates a spherical wavefront and your line source creates a cylindrical wavefront. Again, what do I do? But I gave the example, Manisha, in the beginning only. Tube light. Tube light, Manisha, tube light. Tube light. एक साथ start हो ना, like that. In earlier days, people used to use. Nowadays, CFL and LEDs are more in fashion. पर पहले tube light होती थी. खच 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 खच. It used to take 1 hour to start. Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to find here is again intensity at a point which is at a distance r. Yeah, there are nowadays also there are tube lights, but they are better tube lights. They don't take. Okay. Again, I want to calculate intensity at a point which is at a distance r. Okay. So what will I say? Intensity is power by area. देखना, कुछ लोग बेहोश मत हो जाना. Intensity. How much power is there of the total source? What is the total power? You only told me PL. And on how much area is the light falling? Curved surface area of the cylinder. Curved surface area of the cylinder. अरे वॉल्यूम होता है वो. अनिरुद्ध जी, वॉल्यूम होता है वो। अरे, कर्व्ड सरफेस एरिया ऑफ द सिलेंडर, 6th क्लास क्वेश्चन पीपल, आई एम आस्किंग यू। देखो पाई आर स्क्वायर एच लिखे जा रहे हैं लोग, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग विद पीपल? बेटा, कर्व्ड सरफेस एरिया, कर्व्ड सरफेस एरिया। आप 5वीं पास से तेज हैं, so I will put 2 pi r into L, and r is बड़ा वाला, not छोटा वाला। L will get cancelled out, and intensity you will get is P upon 2 pi r, or I can say intensity is inversely proportional to R. अरे this is different from point source, है कि नहीं? In a point source, intensity was inversely proportional to R square. In line source, it is proportional to R. अरे, are you getting my point? अरे बोलिए। This is the second type of source that we remember. First is point source, second is line source. अरे बोलिए। The third type that we remember, it is not dependent on type of source. What is P? Beta, Apurva, for line source, power per unit length is only defined. For line source, power per unit length is only defined. Kalidas ji. P is power, sir. P is power. It is written the first line on the screen. First line on the screen. अरे समझ आया क्या? Kalidas ji got a little bit confused. He did not look at the screen. Okay. आगे बढ़ सकते हैं क्या? Can I move ahead? Can I move ahead? बताइए। Okay, let us move on. Please pay a little bit of attention. And the third and final thing that we talk about is called plane wavefront. Now you might be wondering, I did not write that type of source, rather I have written the type of wavefront directly. Why? Because if you have plane wavefronts, they will look something like this. One wavefront, okay, another wavefront, and light will be traveling something like this, perpendicular to it. So basically, when we are very, 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 very far away, very far away from a source, wavefront become plane. Arey, when you are very far away, yes, you can say, Sarvesh, we can say sun is very far. It is 149 million kilometers far away, so that is a lot. Okay. So if you are very far away from a source, the wavefront almost becomes plane. ऐसा सोचो ना, the sphere will also increase in radius. So at very far distance, it almost becomes plane. In that case, the important thing is that intensity becomes constant. It is independent of distance from the source because you are already very far away. So what will you increase or what will you decrease? Intensity becomes constant. Note it down, everyone. लिख लीजिए please. So if you have a point source, line source, or a random shaped source, if you are very far away from it, no sir, it is not only possible in space, this is possible anywhere if you are very far away from your source. See, very far away is a relative term. Okay. Like if I make this dot, Vijendra, this dot is very small according to this screen. but for an ant, this is not very small. Okay, so it is relative term. So for any type of source, wavefront will be plane if you are very far away from it. अरे समझ आया क्या? बोलिए. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? Nakshatra, because we are very far away from the source, when we get very far away from the source, wavefronts almost become plane. So if you have plane wavefronts, in that case, the radius will become almost infinite. So intensity will become almost constant. Okay, just remember this. याद रखिए बस. आइए. Now one more thing I am going to ask you from class 11th, and that you have to remember. So I was talking about the wave equation of light, and we just saw the wave equation of light. We saw that wave equation of light is A sine omega t minus kx. Am I right? So is there a relation between intensity and amplitude of wave? Is there a relation between intensity and amplitude? A is not area. Intensity and amplitude of wave. किसी को याद है? What is the intensity in string waves? Who remembers? What is the formula for intensity of string wave? If you don't remember, I will tell you. It is 2 pi square f square a square mu v. अरे याद आया? Have you seen this formula anywhere? ऐसा कुछ फॉर्मूला देखा है? 2 pi square f square a square mu v. Komal ji is saying, sir, I can't see what you write on the screen. Komal ji, please try to rejoin. Please try to rejoin because everyone else can see it. Okay, तो किसी ने ध्यान से क्लास 11th में पढ़ाई की ही नहीं है. If you have not studied in class 11th, you won't be able to understand it then. Okay, SHM में how many people know this formula half mv square kinetic energy? SHM में. And how many people know the formula for velocity? Velocity is omega under root of a square minus x square. So put it here. You will get half m omega square. Omega is 2 pi square. This was the derivation. I'm not going to go into the derivation now of class 11th. Okay. Remember it then. If you don't know, please remember it. Intensity is proportional to square of amplitude of the wave. Square of amplitude of the wave. Where this A is your amplitude. This A is your amplitude. So intensity is proportional to square of amplitude. Now I am going to start the interference of wave. So in order to understand interference, you need to understand these many terms before starting that. अरे समझ आ रहा है? So any doubts till now, please ask. Because after this, we are going to start interference of waves. Each and every formula was important. Everything was important. No doubts? अभिज्ञान यार एक ही बात पे चिपक जाते हो बिल्कुल ही मतलब. Which slide do you want to see? I don't know. Z, Z क्या होता है रिया? What is Z? I was sure that you did not mean this. Okay, quiz. अरे quiz आज कम होगा because we are going to study today a lot. Okay. So आइए. Snowflakes. Okay. On demand. चलिए. So let us talk about the most important thing that is necessary here, which is interference of wave. Interference of waves. Okay. So what is the meaning of interference of waves? It is called basically the superposition of two waves at a point. Two waves at a point. Okay. So suppose light from two sources is coming and it is meeting at a point, then what will be the net intensity at that point? This is studied under the heading interference of wave. Are you getting my point? Suppose I have source S1. This is a source. Okay. And I have a source S2. So this is a source again. And this is a point P. There is nothing to repeat with it. मैं वापस से समझा ही रहा हूं. That was just English. Okay. So you have two sources S1 and S2. Suppose light is coming from both the sources and it is meeting at a point. Okay. So if intensity due to S1 is I1, intensity due to S2 is I2, what will be the net intensity at P? What will be the net intensity at P? This is studied under the heading interference of waves. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? बोलिए बोलिए. It is not that simple, Manisha. इतना आसान नहीं होता, इसीलिए तो चलिए. So this can be studied by understanding the types of sources. Okay. Types of sources. This is different types. That was a different type. Okay. So we define sources into two types. First type is called a coherent source. Coherent source. Yes, Riya, we'll come to that. The first type is called coherent source. Now, what is the meaning of coherent source? Two sources, or if the sources, let me write general, if sources have the same phase, or phase difference is constant, or phase difference is constant between them, they are called coherent sources. What is the meaning of this? Listen to me very, very carefully. Suppose y1 is a1 sine omega t minus kx1, and suppose y2 it is a2 sine omega t minus kx2. So what is the phase of first wave? Phase of first wave is this thing. Am I correct? What is the phase of second wave? Phase of second wave is this thing. So what is the phase difference? Can you tell me? What is the phase difference between them? If you subtract these two brackets, this is represented by symbol delta phi. So if you subtract these two brackets, what will you get? बेटा सब्ट्रैक्ट द ब्रैकेट्स, ब्रैकेट में जो लिखा है उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, क्या मिलेगा आपको, व्हाट विल यू गेट? अरे अरे दिस इज योर फेज 1 ऑफ फर्स्ट वेव, दिस इज फेज 2 ऑफ सेकेंड वेव. Y is basically, अरे यार गौतम, this is the equation of a wave ना. Y is basically the displacement of any particle. चलो, so omega t will get cancelled out and you will get k x2 minus x1. Am I correct? You will get k x2 minus x1. Now, is it time dependent? Is it time dependent? Is there a term of time? No. So it is time independent. So I can say it is constant. So it is constant. Such waves or such sources are called coherent sources. So basically they have same omega. सोच के देखो, if omega was not same, if omega would have not been same, then omega t will not get cancelled out. Are you getting my point? If omega was not same in both the equation, then omega will not get cancelled out. Then term of t will also come. In that case, the sources are called incoherent sources. Are you getting my point? That is the second type, which is called incoherent sources. Incoherent sources, these are the sources in which phase difference is time dependent. Phase difference is time dependent. Let me give you example. Suppose y1 is a1 sine omega 1t minus kx1 and y2 is a2 sine omega 2t minus kx2. Now if you find the phase difference, what will you get? Now if you find the phase difference, what will you get? दोनों के ब्रैकेट को सब्ट्रैक्ट करो, सब्ट्रैक्ट द ब्रैकेट ऑफ बोथ, subtract this bracket with this bracket, you will get omega 1 minus omega 2 into t plus k x1 minus x2. अरे है कि नहीं? So now this phase difference, it is time dependent. Am I correct? It is time dependent. So such kind of sources are called incoherent sources. So simple language में अगर बोलना हो, so what will we say? Different omega. अरे different omega. तो जिन लोगों को कुछ समझ नहीं आया है, जिन लोगों का विश्वास उठ गया है, people who have not understood a single word of it, just remember one thing, sir. If you have two or more than two sources and omega is same for both of them or for all of them, then they are coherent sources. If omega is different for all of them, it is incoherent sources. अरे समझ पा रहे हैं क्या? Are you getting my point? अरे बोलिए, अरे let me know. अरे बोलिए. Yes, Yuvraj, I will. चलिए, सो व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ दिस? क्यों पढ़ा मैंने ये? वेवलेंथ सेम रहता है क्या? बेटा ओमेगा सेम रहता है, ओमेगा सेम रहता है ओनली. ओके, फ्रीक्वेंसी सेम रहती है. डोंट कंफ्यूज योरसेल्फ विद रैंडम थिंग्स. सो पहले मैं आपको बताऊंगा सबसे इजी टॉपिक. सो हाउ डू यू फाइंड नेट इंटेंसिटी? How do you find net intensity for incoherent sources? Incoherent sources. This is very easy. जिनका time dependent है. Okay. For those, it is time dependent. Listen to me very carefully. Suppose this is a point P And there are many sources: S1, S2, S3, S4. I am taking 4 sources. And light is coming from all the 4 sources and meeting at this point. यहाँ पे मिलाप हो रहा है. This is the party point. Okay. So suppose S1 is creating intensity I1, S2 is creating intensity I2, S3 is creating intensity I3, and S4 is creating intensity I4 at these points. And S1, S2, S3, S4 are incoherent sources. Incoherent sources. It means different omega they have. So if I ask you what is the net intensity at P, it is simply I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. This is easier. If you have, this is not principle of superposition. This is not principle of superposition. We don't study superposition for incoherent sources. For incoherent sources, you simply add all the intensities because their interference pattern cannot be studied. Interference pattern cannot be studied. So for these interference is not studied for them. Are you getting my point? So they are very, very easy. So if you see incoherent in your question, 11 रुपए का प्रसाद चढ़ा दीजिए and simply add all the intensities. Arey, did you get it? Are you getting it? Just add them up. That is it. Add all the intensities and you will get the net intensity. Any doubts in this? No doubts? Then quickly answer a question. Then quickly answer a question. Okay. So the question is in front of you, everyone. Find the maximum intensity in case of interference of n identical waves, each of intensity I naught, if the waves are incoherent. So there are n waves, each has intensity I naught, and they are all incoherent. So what is the net intensity? I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it. Then we correct 72%. Okay, so the answer was pretty obvious. You have n sources, each of intensity I naught, and they are all incoherent. So I naught plus I naught plus I naught. You will do this n times and you will get n I naught. कोई कष्ट, कोई दुविधा, कोई समस्या इसमें तो बताइए. Any doubts in this? Okay. So now let us see what will happen if sources are coherent. What, beta, maximum or minimum, whatever they ask, Manisha, answer is that only. That was just to confuse you. Maximum, minimum, there is no pattern. Intensity is fixed for them. Okay. Now we are going to the important point. What will happen if sources are coherent? So now we talk about net intensity. Net intensity for coherent sources. Now pay attention. Okay. And if you have studied vectors properly, you will understand this. Okay. Suppose I have two sources, S1 and S2. Both the sources are coherent. This is point P. Wave is coming like this. Wave is coming like this. This is distance is x1. This distance is x2. So y1 you are getting is a1 sine omega t minus kx1, and y2 you are getting is a2 sine, because they are coherent so they have same omega, minus kx2. Can you tell me the phase difference between them? Can you tell me the phase difference between them? Phase difference, which is a delta phi. What is that? So delta phi can simply be written as 2 pi by lambda into delta x, which is k delta x. What is delta x? Delta x is x2 minus x1 ka mod, and this is called path difference. This is called path difference. I think the term is self-explanatory. You can understand what is the meaning of path difference. One wave is moving x1 distance, other wave is moving x2 distance. So the difference between their path length is x2 minus x1. Value of k is 2 pi by lambda, that I already told you in the beginning. So delta phi can simply be written as 2 pi by lambda into delta x, or k delta x. Note it down, one of the most important formulas of the chapter. This is the phase difference between them. Remember, delta phi is the phase difference and delta x is the path difference. Two different things. This is phase difference and this is path difference. Okay. Yes, in radian. Yes, Riya, in radian. Path difference. अरे समझ आया? So how will you calculate the net intensity at any point? Let us talk about that. Okay. So suppose, first let me calculate the net amplitude of wave. Net amplitude of wave. So one wave is given to me, y1 is a1 sine omega t minus kx, and y2 is given a2 sine omega t minus kx. Okay, so you can simply draw a1 like this and a2 like this. And the phase difference between them, remember we made phasors. Delta phi is the phase difference between them, which is 2 pi by lambda into delta x, or k delta x. So this is your delta phi. Are you getting my point? So the net amplitude will come like this. I hope you know vectors. And what is the formula for net amplitude? A net can simply be given as under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus 2 a1 a2 cos of delta phi. Note it down, everyone. If phase difference between them or the angle between them, we have drawn the phasor diagram. So if phase difference between them is delta phi, you can calculate the net amplitude at any point due to these same waves. No beta, this is the general equation, Apurva. When the waves reach that point, they will be x1 and x2. This is the general equation. When you fix that point, it will become x1 and x2. Okay. Any doubts in this? बताइए. It is absolutely vectors concept. So now let us talk about the intensity. What will be intensity? खत्म नहीं हुआ है. Intensity, you know, intensity is proportional to amplitude का square. And I just told you the formula, A net square is A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 A1 A2 cos delta phi. So because intensity is proportional to amplitude ka square, you can say I net is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos delta phi. This is the formula for net intensity of coherent sources. In incoherent sources, you simply add I1 plus I2. But in case of coherent sources, you have to use this formula. It means it will depend on delta phi. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So please note down this formula of net intensity. What is the formula for net intensity? I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2 cos phi. Beta, in coherent, there is a phase difference, but it is constant. It is not time dependent, Gautam. Are you getting my point? Now, if I1 is given to you I2, if I1 is equal to I2 and it is equal to I naught, I can put here I net. It will be I naught plus 2 under root I naught square cos delta phi, and using maths you can write it I net is 4 I naught cos square delta phi by 2. This is also a way to remember. It is not necessary to remember this. Remember this one. This one is only valid if both the intensities are same. If sources are producing same intensity and you want to find the net intensity, you can use this formula also, but the main formula is the above one. अरे समझ आया कि नहीं? Now there will be different cases of these intensities, whether they will form maximum intensity, minimum intensity, but that I will discuss in the next class because I know people will die if I continue. Okay, so I will start from here only. I will start exactly from intensity. I will write the equation and we will derive and we will look at Young's double slit experiment also in the next class. Are you getting my point? अरे बोलिए. See, you might be finding yes, only 2 quizzes because this topic has a lot of theory in the beginning. Okay. Chali. So basically we have studied one formula, that is resultant intensity and resultant amplitude today. है कि नहीं?